Hello, here is a little fun rose-themed hijaz inspired native bamboo flute. It's the fun lapis in there. There's that thumb hole in the back. Okay, so the stretch is as follows here. You go ring, pointer, thumb in the back, first hand, okay? Ring, pointer, thumb. And then these three. And there's no thumb hole in the back. So your first note is all holes closed. And that is just a very casual breath. You know, this flute being in this mid-range key, it's very vibrant and it vibrates intensely. It's a nice happy median between being kind of a dense enough walled flute, but thin enough where it really shakes when the wind comes through it. So it's great for this particular scale and mode. The Hijaz and the Arabian stuff sounds really, really kind of wispy and whimsical, and the native flute can capture a lot of those particular nuances in that style and that mode of sound. So the climb is you can kind of reach it with your pinky, your ring, or even your middle. But I like ring and pointer and thumb, and then these three here, and then thumb braces the instrument, pinky braces, slightly offset fingering. It's just the way that it came out, and I wanted to pop a thumb hole in there. There's so many different people that like to play various flutes with offset fingering and things that are a little unconventional or not following the norm with just like a straight line going up the flute. I sometimes feel called to make my instruments that way, and other times I like to be very direct and linear with my approach with my finger holes. So this one was a very fun sort of beautiful intuitive piece. It was originally going to be a low C that I was making for a friend of mine, and it didn't work out when I was popping in the first couple of holes. It just all the upper register just came in, and it just was popping into the next octave, and it was doing all sorts of weird things. So when I cut it and I modded it, and then I made his flute again. But then I used this piece and I just turned it into the next best thing that it could become. And then it just ended up becoming this Arabian, native G. And I love this thing. It's super, super cool. It's got great, great volume and expressivity. The upper register notes work for like the first two or three, which is really, really cool. It adds just the extra phrasing when you go higher up after the last note. It's really, really fun. I'll give you a taste. So moderate breath pressure, soft to moderate. When you get to the top of the flute, you can be pushing, a little bit more air in than just feel it, and you'll know where it's supposed to be. See, there's a lot of vibrato that you can channel down through this piece, which is really, really exciting for the kind of fusing the native style with the Indian and the Hijaz scale. And it's really, really fun. You might find that you might want to shift the block around every once in a while, because there's this interesting little like kind of scraping shrill that gets generated inside of this pipe that was making the other version of it when it was a C not work. But when I changed the flute, that particular noise actually ended up coming into the flute and making this model sound really, really exotic and I'd say more ideal than I could have hoped. And so now you can feel free to shift the block around a little bit. I'd say at its farthest back is always the safest space, but you'll uh, just pay attention to the sensitivity for after you lift hole 2 and 3, and then that's something to pay attention to. It might just be like a little wiggle here and there, or like getting just some of the moisture out, but see how it kind of like it does this nice sort of comb. It like scrapes, which a lot of the time I try to cut certain particular acoustic frequencies out of the instrument, but I left that one in on this because it helps with adding the real sort of authentic overtones to playing this one. And then your high G is all holes closed, thumb included back there, but then the top open. Actually, my bad. It's middle one open, these closed, these closed. So this would be hole number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, hole number 5 is open if you want the high G. So you can access the upper register by popping hole 5 and then blowing a little bit more than normal. See how it pops, it clicks over. And then you can peel 1, 2, and 3. If you do that, if you do them with kind of being like the right release valve for the flute, you'll figure out the finesse over time. Let's see. So you can get all the way up to that thumb hole in the back, and then you can try it with the 6 open instead. See, it pops it up to not in key, but those are other notes that are inside of the instrument as well. So that kind of gives you the rundown on it for now. Most of it will be relatively self-explanatory with just climbing, casual breath, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Okay, and then you can then go 7 to 8, 9, and then peel back to 10. And that is the more advanced technique in the piece. I am not sure about your, proficiency with flutes. So just as that's something that you can utilize either right now if you're already a flute player, or you can eventually get to the point where you can start, doctoring that into your playing, which I think is a really beautiful extension of the flute's voice and the song that it can sing. So this will be mailed out. Thanks again. International orders are really, really, really appreciated. I am super, super excited that some more of my art is going, out into the world. I've had about 25 countries or so in the past 3 or 4 years. So I'm really, really, really grateful. And your flute will be with you soon. Thank you. I'll wipe this all down with carnauba wax and rubbing alcohol and get it all sanitized up and mail it to you. Take care.